Oh, my. See, you got to learn to have a good time every day. No matter how much money you're making, what kind of job you got, what kind of house you live in, we all have a day that comes along where on that day, we feel kind of sorry for ourselves, like everybody around us has got a better life than us. They're making more money, they got a better house. And we're just tired of Chattanooga, tired of where we live. We're just bored, like the world's going by and leaving us behind. On a day like that, you need some excitement in your life, a spark to your day. You listen to what I'm telling you, I wouldn't lead you wrong. You try this sometime. It is against the law to go through a red light. It is not against the law to stop on green. I do that every once in a while. Oh, it's chaos. See, they didn't think anybody would ever do it. There's no law on the books. The policeman's going to pull you over and he's going to say, hey, you stopped on green. And you can say, yeah, I know. Have a good day. You ever heard somebody say this? I'm out of work, I don't have any money, I can't go anywhere, but I still like to see other people have a good time. Liars, liars, liars. I'm going to be honest with you, if I'm miserable, I'm going to mess up somebody's life. Here's what you can do. If you're not working, all you're doing is watching television. So anytime, Monday through Friday, right at lunchtime, when McDonald's is the busiest, go through the drive-in window, order a bunch of stuff, then pretend your car won't start. Just sit there and block the window. Sometimes you'll have cars lined up a half mile, and every one of them's got to be back to work in 30 minutes, except you. And you ain't got diddly squat today. Just get out and sit on the hood. Wave at them. You can talk to them if you want to. You can say things like, how long y'all get for lunch? I like coming here. This is where my favorite sign in the whole world is. It's over on Brainerd Road. There's a sign out in front of a business over there. The sign says, lawnmower repair and income tax service. Lord knows we've been needing something like that. Oh yeah. Just think how many times over the years you and I have carried our lawnmower in to get it fixed. And while we were there, we probably said to ourselves, well, I'd like to get my taxes done while I'm here. I guess they'll franchise that out now. See, you have to wonder where the guy got the idea for a business like that. Did somebody go in there one day to pick up their mower, and they said to him, you know, you did a job on this mower. I think I'll let you do my taxes.
Has anybody fed you food when you were in the studio better than us?
I tell everybody that. And that's true. Dan McGinney, my other comedians, they'll tell you, I've told other studios this. I've told them, you know, Rick and Bubba's got food.
Oh, food.
I remember that. I didn't have much. I remember that food. This was several years ago. Remember, you have an audience there most of the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, oh yeah.
And somebody brought, it was homemade sweet potato casserole.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. How can I forget it, James?
More like not like a casserole, like a cobbler.
Oh yeah.
We all had peach cobbler and apple cobbler.
Oh yeah.
This was sweet potato cobbler.
Oh yes.
When I left there, I was sick, not because it was bad. It was because I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I ate everything there.
Yeah.
I was just stuffed. And I think the next time I saw you guys, I said, where's that lady that had the sweet potato cobbler?
I know.
But you guys had so much food every time, different food, that I would just leave there stuffed.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember? And I will be very careful with this, but and I've had people say this about the Rick and Bubba show, and you're an example of this because we saw it happen. You get in here and we have such a good time, and the food adds to that. You do realize that most engineers will not let people eat in the studio, but we've never lived by that. And Bubba's even an engineer by trade, but we like food more than we like following those rules, and we don't even care if we damage equipment.
That's why it was so wonderful.
One year we were eating a fried turkey. Okay, and we had a fried turkey in here, and we were. I'm not going to get into the details of what happened. You forget you're doing a show because it really is like fellowshipping with your family, hanging out with your cousins, and all that. And so we're all eating, which adds to that. And at one point, I don't even think we're all getting up into the mic. We're just eating with the mic somewhere near us.
Well, there's been a couple of times over the years where I made a mistake. I said something I should not have said.
Correct.
The guy was on the air.
Right.
We just lose sight of the fact that we're
exactly.
It's like we're out on the deck.
As a matter of fact, we have a state-of-the-art digital delay that we use in the studio, and it was all because of James Gregory.
This delay that we use, we named it James Gregory. And I remember looking at you, James. I'll never forget it. I said, "Hey, James, we're on the air," and you looked at me and you said, "Well, we better not be."
Intellectuals will say to you, when they find out you're afraid to fly, they'll go, well, you know, more people die in car wrecks than they do plane crashes. I go, so? That's the way I want to go. Damn car wreck. Where I'm from, it's kind of like a tradition. We don't have heart attacks in my family. We just cross the median. Usually on the weekend. Just out drinking. I'm trying to outrun the repo man. Well, look, folks, at least if you die in a car wreck, they can always retrieve the body. And being Baptist, we need that. You give us something to embalm and some of that tater salad. Hell, we didn't have a funeral. This ashes in an urn ain't for us. Hell no, we're gonna throw dirt on somebody. If you hear a Baptist talk about cremating, that's not a full-blood Baptist. He's probably married outside his faith. If you hear a Baptist talk about burning something, it's going to be biscuits or leaves. It's not going to be Uncle Larry. And you folks know this is true. We do. We respond to every tragedy in life with food. A damn covered dish. We'll knock on somebody's front door and go, sorry to hear about your son-in-law. Here's some baked beans. We would come in for a minute, but Walmart closes at 10. And if I'm going to that funeral, I need me something real nice to wear. The main thing is, folks, everybody, the whole country needs to lighten up a little bit. Let's not ever lose our sense of humor. People should laugh every day. It's good for you. And remember, all this news stuff you see, most of that's not news. Remember, in Walter Cronkite's day, and that's been a few years ago, you'd never hear him lead a broadcast talking about John Wayne Boppitt. That would have never made his whole... By the way, that stupid son of a... He's doing the talk shows again. He wants to remarry Lorena. You be keeping up with that? There's a man glutton for punishment. Of course, that whole thing was amazing. They sewed that booger back up. And they found it in the bushes. You imagine some guy just out jogging that day? I believe I'd have kept it. I'd have made me a keychain out of that. Before I get into the show, I want you to know that last weekend I had about 50 lottery tickets down in Florida. I didn't win shit. But I got some tickets this coming Saturday night, and I just might win the thing. And here's how you'll know if I do. You'll never see my fat ass again. I plan to be the first lottery winner ever that talks like I got a brain. I'm sick of them damn people. No matter how many millions they win, they always go, no, I ain't gonna quit my job. I was down there a few months ago when a man won 18 million. 18 million. Here's the question they asked this guy. What hopes, what dreams, what plans have you and yours had all your lives that you can now follow through with? And bless his heart, he said, well, I'm going to either. Now, there's a key word right there. Either. Like with 18 million, he can't do both these damn things. You know? I'm going to either pay off my Ford Bronco or put a new roof on the house. I'm screaming at this guy going, let him repossess the truck and burn the damn house. I guess he didn't want to mess up his credit. You know, I think I can speak for every sane American. Everybody's in this room tonight, especially me. If I ever win 18 million, or just one damn million, and they want me to say something, I'm going to tell them this. The following people can kiss my rich fat ass. Yeah. Number one. Yeah. Number one, my ex-wife. And do you ever think about what dumb things people say? Now, I don't mean dumb things that dumb people say. They're supposed to. Really, it's kind of like their job. You know? I'm talking about the dumb things that intelligent, cultured, sophisticated people, like me and you. You know this television? I know y'all sitting there saying us maybe. I don't know. You know this television show Knight Rider where they got the talking car? The next time you're watching that show and there's other people in the room, somebody in the room, usually a college graduate, somebody will say, I bet you that's somebody else doing that voice. They do. You feel like saying, boy, that education's paid off for you. But we don't know. We say, oh, it probably is. Probably like it's open for debate. Every American should go to Huntsville, Alabama, once a year just to get in touch with reality. And let me explain that to you. The whole country is so complicated we can't keep up with it. The people of Huntsville are trying single-handedly to keep it simple, like God intended. Of course, now, if you're from Huntsville, you don't say Huntsville. You say Huntsville. But listen, the main thoroughfare through that city up there is Memorial Parkway. They built a big shopping mall there. They named it The Mall. I like that. Here's what they would have done somewhere else. They would have appointed committees, spent thousands of dollars to come up with just the right name. Not up there. They went to the people. And they said, what should we name this? And the people said, well, what are you building? They said, we're building a mall. And the people of Huntsville said, well, God, no. Yeah, I got a suggestion for you. And let's not forget about Aloha Airlines. They're the ones that had that airplane that took off as a hard top, come back as a convertible. The damn top blew off. And the dumbass things the people would say once they got off the plane, these are people who flew in and landed in an airplane that didn't have a top. It didn't have a damn top. Listen. And one lady actually said this. She said, at first, I didn't even notice it. I just reached out to push the stewardess button and the sun was in my eye. Damn. And let's see here how good our memory is. It was also about a year ago when a plane in upstate New York was in a holding pattern waiting for clearance to land when suddenly, without warning, it just fell out of the sky and it fell to the ground, killed some people. Does anybody remember why it fell so quickly? Exactly. See, everybody knows it ran out of gas. Do you hear me? It dropped like a rock. It ran out of gas. I'm thinking, don't they have a gauge or something, man? Listen, believe me when I tell you, if I was a pilot up there at 35,000 feet and the gas hand was on E, I'd land on the freeway at Texaco. They may not have no jet fuel, but hell, it's worth a shot. At least you could pick up a Coke and a pack of crackers. I mean, damn. I put on some weight recently. We had back in the summer, we had a funeral in my family. And being Baptist, there was food there. You know, we respond to every tragedy in life with food. A covered dish. Oh, we'll knock on somebody's door and go, sorry to hear about your son-in-law. Here's some baked beans. We would come in for a minute, but you know Walmart closes at 9. And if I'm gonna go to that funeral, I gotta me something nice to wear. This is what I've told people over the years, is they would ridicule me about my fear of flying. And you've heard this logic too. They'll always go, you know, more people die in car wrecks than they do plane crashes. I go, so? That's the way I want to go. Car wreck. Where I'm from, it's kind of like a tradition. We don't have heart attacks in my family. We just cross the median. Usually on the weekend. Just out drinking. Sometimes it's because we wave back at somebody up on the porch. Well, see, let me tell you something. At least if you die in a car wreck, they can always retrieve the body. And being Baptist, we need that. You give us something to embalm and some tater salad, we can have a funeral. This ashes in an urn ain't for us. Oh no, we're gonna throw dirt on somebody. Let me tell y'all something. If you hear a Baptist talk about cremating, that's not a full-blood Baptist. He probably married outside his faith. If a Baptist talks about burning something, it's going to be biscuits or leaves. It's not going to be Uncle Larry. Could you imagine us even talking like this? Somebody going, Well, I hear your grandfather passed away. What kind of service y'all gonna have? Well, here's what we thought we'd do. Since we cook out a lot anyhow. Let me tell you what my definition of an intellectual is. It's people just like me and you, except they believe there's life on other planets. Even if they don't believe it, they act like they do. See, people with common sense like you and I, we know there's no life on other planets. It's just us. If there was life on other planets, we'd have sent them some foreign aid by now. And see, I'll get back to what I was talking about. Let me take a detour here. And I know there's a lot of you in the room right now who you genuinely believe that there's a life form out there more intelligent than us. Because if you believe in UFOs, that's what you believe. Because a lot of people believe in that we've been visited by UFOs. They hang around for a day or two and go back. I mean, come on now. We've been tracking them since 1947. Don't you find it odd that these super intelligent beings have the technology to go tens of millions of miles from wherever they're at down here to visit us, hang out for a few days, go back, never refuel or nothing, and nobody notices them? Now let's just look at that practically. Let's say that there is life on other planets. Right? And they've promised their kids a trip. It's a long weekend coming up. Oh, let's say Labor Day. And they say, hell, we'll go to Earth. And they're out in the driveway loading up the spaceship with the stuff they'll need. Bucket of chicken, tater salad, Fuzzbuster. Well, you know they're going to be speeding. And the dad says to all the kids, all right, kids, if y'all got to pee, you better pee now. I'm not stopping every planet we come to. And they take off and they come all this way. Don't you think just once, since 1947, just once, wouldn't they have landed maybe in Orlando, seen Disney World or something? Times Square, the Grand Canyon, but no. They always land next to a hog pen in Arkansas. Our parents worried about kids, and see, I've got a generation now who don't worry too much about kids because they're into the animal rights stuff. They're worrying about birds and bugs. This is the generation that set aside 2 million acres in the Pacific Northwest for the spotted owl. Are you happy about that? Well, brace yourself. 2 million acres for an owl. A bird. It's a bird. It's a damn bird. It's a bird. And they tell you so. Oh, they'll be on the Larry King show. Just on the verge of tears. Oh, Larry. There's just not very many of those owls left. And I'm like, so? When's the last time you walked into a pet shop and said, damn, you're out of owls? It's a bird. word. Here's what finally sent me over the top with these people. 3 years ago in California, Southern California, Los Angeles area, they stopped the construction of a new highway project. Now get this, $180 million was total cost, like a highway spur. This big area here is congested, the highway spur is going to relieve traffic this way. Got 1/3 completed, that's $60 million of our money they spent, tax dollars, and abandoned the project when they realized that this new highway was going directly into the nesting area of the endangered, long-tailed kangaroo rat. A rat. A damn rat. I don't care what they call it, picture it in your mind, it's a rodent. Every generation until this one for 400 years would see a rat go, there's a rat, kill it. These buffoons were jumping up and down going, stop the highway, there's a rat in the road. I mean, it's a damn rat. They tell us that this rat needs 2,000 acres. So it'll have room to mate. And you think I'm going to act like and just pretend that I'm some kind of pseudo-intellectual and like, oh yeah, let me tell you something. No. As a layman, a very simple-minded layman, here's what I know. When it comes to the human species, 2 full-size adults can mate in the back seat of a Honda Civic. I think one of the reasons got me on the subject, my father passed away a few months ago, 76 years old. Every time somebody that age passes on, I bet you think this too sometime, I do. I start to think whether we will ever see the likes of that generation again. And I sure do have my doubts. That generation of Americans, even though they were most uneducated of any of us, they had the most honor and dignity and self-respect and integrity and a thumbnail than the rest of the Americans got now in the whole damn body. So, you try to picture in your mind your mom and daddy or your grandmother or grandfather, and do you think how unheard of it would be for them to actually sit in the living room hoping that some local or federal official will help them take the gun away from their boy? Oh, God. They'd have smacked some kid. They'd have killed him himself. Now, I know it seems old-fashioned, but, you have to be reminded that that generation of Americans didn't raise crack addicts and drive-by shooters. They raised damn kids. So, we got all these new words now that ain't working. Therapy, counseling. Yeah, my daddy took me to counseling, all right. How about this, bonded? Ain't that a new word? Bonded. It works like this. You're 35, your dad is 60. Have you bonded? Have you bonded? My father and I never bonded. We've posted bond for each other. We have so many laws in our country now that are what we call feel-good legislation.
Oh, boy.
Like the law that just passed in New York State. I think it takes effect in January, where by law now, McDonald's is required by law to put a piece of fruit or a vegetable in the Happy Meal. That's the law.
Well, we're talking about that nationwide.
Here we go.
But really, it's the law. That's because you have we have a generation of people now that don't know really how to be parents.
Right.
Like, if they want some people want the McDonald's to quit advertising the Happy Meal so much. And here's what I've said. When I have the privilege.
Secretariat is off and running.
Well, no, I just saying when I have the privilege to speak to or entertain any of these brain dead soccer moms.
Right.
Here's what I'll tell them. The fast food industry didn't start yesterday.
Right.
It was started in the 1930s by the White Castle and the Crystal Corporation, and then followed a few years later in the early 50s with McDonald's and so on. So fast food's always been around. When we were growing up, and most people who listen to us now, when we were growing up, me and my little brother, we saw a zillion things advertised on television we wanted. Now listen up, soccer moms.
Oh boy,
here's what my mama said to us. No.
Right.
Sometimes she would spell it out. I said no, N-O. Could you see your mama or your daddy saying, every time my little boy sees that commercial, he wants one of them, I'm going to write my congressman. It's a changing world we're living in. Now, oftentimes these days, we don't even know our neighbor. We certainly don't know the couple 2 miles down the highway. We've now got strange people living in our communities. Damn strange. Like vegetarians. Trust me, those buffoons are out there. And you can't spot them. Hell, they look just like me and you. And you have to rent to them. It's the law. Vegetarians can live anywhere they want to. Just like regular Americans. These are now your neighbors. So now when you have a death in the family, it's these health conscious people. And God bless them, they don't mean any harm. They just don't know any different. They're the ones that will show up at your front door in your time of grief with fruit. Well, hell, I'd just soon not lose a cousin. I just don't understand vegetarians. I could be driving down the highway and see a cow in a pasture. I'll get it. But I have never, not once in my life, and neither have any of you, not once, ever heard a vegetarian go, I smell squash. There has been so much talk in recent years about all this bad shape the country's in, the violence and this, and the kids out of control, and it's just out of control. It's just, oh, Lord, what we're going to do. Well, see, I'm one of those people that don't think that's a big problem. When the American people used to eat food and had eating habits the way our parents and grandparents did, our ancestors did, we were not a weak, sniveling population. In recent years, we've become a nation of pissers, moaners, and whiners. Everybody's a wuss. Everybody's sensitive, just sensitive. That's why the kids are out of control. As long as we ate greasy, fried food, a lot of grease, we was in good shape. When we switched to rotisserie, the country took a dive. There's no men left in America anymore. When we cut off the grease flow to our brain, the backbone shrunk. We got men, grown American men, going out to lunch now, walking up to the counter and saying to the guy behind the counter, is that rotisserie?
I believe I can have a small piece if it's rotisserie. I can't eat the skin. Is it skinless? Ah, damn. We got men, grown American men, whose idea of breakfast now is a banana and a muffin. A muffin, God help us, they're eating muffin. And you wonder why the country's out of control? Ain't nobody in charge. You know this, rotisserie was only available in fast food chicken places in this country just 6, 8, 9 years ago. You know that. But it's not a new food item. They've been eating rotisserie in France for 200 years. But France is a wuss nation. That's why we always have to fight their damn wars for them.